Yeah, I love that question. This week, as a human being living my experience, we are building business. We are um, spending time with family and also getting to spend some time with some friends that are visiting from back home. So, got a eventful week planned, and yeah, it's never a dull moment with three little ones running around my house or crawling around. So yeah, it's that's what I got going: business, family, and friends. Full week of it this week. Yeah, business is my life coaching business, my life and career coaching. It's based around the transitions though. So when people are maybe relocating to a new country or relocating, could be even within their country, new job, big life changes like parenthood or getting married, those big times in life when we're really in the midst of a cycle of change and maybe not sure where to go to. So that's what I help people with, navigating those transitions. And obviously I've gone through some big transitions recently myself, so that's kind of how I got to that space of helping people is the recent big transitions I've had in life, and really wishing I would have had a partner with me there the first half of it. So um, yeah. Yeah, so the latest transitions have been moving to Japan from America. So relocating the family, quitting my job I was at for the last 10 years, and yeah, starting pushing the reset button in a new country. So that's the one of the biggest, most recent, and then the birth of our first daughter in August. So yeah, some big ones recently. So family of five now here in Tokyo, and and yeah, still acclimating, I guess you would say, um, to Japan as well. Mhm. I think the best part for me is, um, and I didn't really expect this, but the big change is just what I found is that this big change just pushed me completely outside my comfort zone, um, in every facet, work, home, speaking to people. So really extremely outside my comfort zone, I found is where I do the best growing, is where I actually thrive myself. And yeah, figuring that out the last like year and a half and really trying to put my foot on the pedal as far as personal growth goes. So that's been huge for me. It just kind of unlocked chain um, a chain event of cool growth opportunities I didn't have, or I couldn't tap into necessarily in the States. So that's been the best thing for me and my family, really. And then I would say the most challenging thing is uh, probably still not being able to communicate the way I want to communicate. Um, so yeah, I've been learning Japanese. It's just a tough language to master, and I can definitely understand more than I can speak. I can muddle through my day, but when it really gets into like the nitty gritty of a conversation, when I'm speaking to maybe my kid's doctor, or maybe trying to like rent an office space, that's when it kind of gets like, okay, this is a little far over my head as far as fluency goes. So that's the most challenging thing still, when I'm fighting through. So yeah. So we're approaching 2 years. So not quite 2 years yet, but approaching. So yeah, getting there quick. Yeah, we plan on being here for the foreseeable future. We haven't um, we haven't had any conversations yet of like relocating or possibly relocating back to the States or anything like that. So we're really enjoying it and kind of going with the flow. So we'll be here. We'll be here for the foreseeable future. It was really a few months because we visited Japan in um, October of 2022, right? Yeah, 2022. October of 2022. Then applied for in December of 2022. Then we got approved um, in spring of 2024, like pretty much like in February. And then we had to make the move within 6 months of that approval. So from there, we just like put everything in like high speed motion and we moved in like the middle of May. So it was very quick once we decided, like pretty much October to May, and we were in Japan. So it moved fast, and it can move that fast once you know, decide to commit, because then you have no choice. There's like, I've got to do this. I've got to pack. I've got to sell my life. I've got to
Yeah.
do all of those things, and it's you
Have you
feel
th-
there's no choice.
have you thought about going back?
No,
Oh,
no, like not seriously. I've like thought about it vaguely or like a fleeting thought. When something's going on with family, but there's no like bone in my body that wants to reverse back the clock now or even change the future and go ahead and go back. So
yeah.
yeah.
So you're like, it was the right decision.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was the exact right decision. I mean, we couldn't have, I don't think we could have like, if we would have analyzed and planned it for like months and years, I don't think we could have even made it this like as good as it had lined up, has lined
Hmm.
up so far. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's been tough. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not like the easiest move. Like, there's been a lot of hurdles and like things lost, things that we thought we might have put in boxes and things like that. So, it's been tough, but like I think my wife and I's mindset and our headspace is that of like now that we're here and we both feel like we've made the right decision at this time in our life, we're just gonna like choose to look forward and not
Hmm.
dwell on anything that we missed or messed up when we left.
What what advice would you have to somebody who's like maybe kind of been on the edge and being like, hey, maybe I don't really like this so much here anymore. I kind of maybe want to move, but at the same time, like, I don't know. I'm like hesitant and I just can't make the decision.
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing would be try to talk to somebody about it. Talk to um, like the friend who's as like in the middle as possible. Like their questions aren't going to try to like guide
Mm.
you to one way or the other. Try to talk to that person who's like in the middle and like, yeah, like that might be cool if you decide to do that, or but have you thought about this? That's always a good thing. So start by talking to someone about it and seeing if just getting your thoughts out can help, you know, drive your like decision or your motivation. Um, and then once you talk about it and get it out in your head, if it even feels like, you know, a percentage like that's the move you want to make, then just commit and go for it. And like don't look back as far as like but like adding those buts or but I should do this or but so just don't look back and make the move forward, and then if you need to adjust when you get there, adjust. I think that's life.
Mm.
So
I would add that first of all, try and be careful about who you choose, right? And who you choose to
Yeah,
tell, who
yeah,
you choose to tell. And if by any chance you choose the wrong person and they're like, no, you should never do that, you shouldn't do that, and what if this, and they start to like give you more doubt,
yeah.
then talk to somebody else as well.
Yes, 100%.
Get a second opinion because a lot of people will be very scared and skeptical as well, right? So best case
Yeah,
scenario, talk to somebody who's done it before,
yeah,
or talk to
exactly.
both sides, right? Like talk to somebody who's like
Yeah,
still and wants to stay and wouldn't even think about it, for example, and then also talk to people like do your research in a way, right? Like get more
exactly.
info. But there will be a lot of people talking from experience. When I start talking about, hey, I'm going to start a
Hmm.
business, I'm going to travel the world, I'm going to move countries, I'm going to make money online, I'm going to do all these things. And I was met with like a lot of criticism and a lot of like,
Hmm.
that's never going to happen. Like, you can't do that. You're going to throw your life away. That's bullshit. You know,
Yeah,
you're dreaming, get back into earth, get back to earth, kind of those kind of things. And so yeah, be careful about who you tell, and then get second opinions always.
yeah. I agree. That's why I was alluding to that fact of someone in the middle, like
Yeah,
with no opinions either way. Because
yeah,
I feel like I talked to people that were like, "Oh, but what if you get over there and this happens?" Or like, "But are you really going to be able to make money that you're like to have the lifestyle?" Or like all these things. And you're so right. It's like people guide you like the way that they want you to try and think, whether
yeah.
or not they know that they're doing it consciously, right?
They usually they don't, but like the thing is that
Yeah,
most people are really scared to do this. So if you
yeah,
are scared to do it, and you talk to somebody who's even more scared and wouldn't even think about it, and you're like maybe not, and then somebody's like, there's absolutely no way that I could do that, then they would be
yeah,
like, yeah, there's no way that you can do that because I can't imagine myself doing it, you know.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, like that would be my other question is like, how did you deal with that? Did you have a lot of like criticism or like not specifically hate, but being like people being like very negative and unsupportive and being like that's dumb. You know you're
Hmm.
gonna put yourself in danger and you don't and you know like
Yeah, yeah, I did. I feel like a surprisingly amount of people. Um, I had people at my job, even like my people that I had that had mentored me before. In leadership positions, being like questioning and being like, "Do you want to throw this away?" Like,
yeah
next quarter this is possibly coming in, or next year like this company is going to do this. Are you sure you want to go now? And all of that. And then I even had it from family. I think it's only natural that a mom would be like against her youngest son like moving away. But it's natural, and I understand that. But I would say definitely it's something that like if I were in the middle and I had like heard my mom be like, "You don't want to do that, but what about this? What about that? What about like you're leaving me?" But like if I was in the middle and I had people pulling me in that way, I don't know if I would be here, you know? So it's a good point, and it's like be careful who you talk to about it, because I didn't tell my mom because I knew she was going to react in a certain way until like I'd already got my visa approved. Like, so the
wow
visa's approved. We're like booking plane tickets, and then I'm like, "Hey, by the way, like in 3 weeks, I'm moving to Japan." and so
damn
like, and so it's a little. I had to do the same thing with my work too, because I didn't want them to like, like fire me earlier, because I wanted to keep working as long as I could. And so, yeah, I told them, and I told my boss first, like 4 weeks out. And I was like, please, like, if you can, like, don't share this with anybody. And like, he was really cool about it, but it was definitely like trying to be like, like you've got so much in your sales pipeline. Like, why would you walk? Like, why now? Like, wait 6 months, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I would almost say like wait until some of your plans are in concrete to go around telling everybody, you know.
Yeah.
It's just there's more critics at that point. And if you live in a place like I did where not a lot of people move from that place, like it mostly like everybody I graduated high school with is pretty much in the same town, right? So if you live in a town like that, you're going to get a lot more pushback than you would if you live in a city like Tokyo, you know, where half of the city is transplants. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's a good point.
Mm. Yeah, people have lots of limiting beliefs and lots of fears that they will project onto you, and it can be pretty tough if you're, like you said, especially if you're in that community where it's just like this is not what we do. what are you
Right.
what are you trying to do? Like this is not what we do. And so
Yeah.
maybe we can talk more about the business side as well. How's been the transition for you, like going from having a job and being an employee, and besides
Mm.
moving across the world, but also just working for yourself, the that itself. What has been the differences, and what do you really like, and what are you like? I didn't expect this to be this hard or this different.
Yeah, yeah. That's a great question. Yeah, the I would say, you know, um one of the biggest things that you have working for a company is like some support, I would say. Like as far as
Mm,
there's usually someone to maybe bounce an idea off of. There's usually like some, you know, hierarchy in place as far as like, you know, if you want a piece of software, if you want something for marketing materials, you just go to that person and they order it and it's kind of done, you know, to where doing all of those things as a self-sufficient entrepreneur is like you're really calculated, you're really careful. And what I'm discovering is like prioritizing my time is very important because if I'm spending time, you know, creating some piece of marketing, then that inevitably takes away time from me trying to maybe connect with people or hold a session or, you know, do something else, write contracts, something like that, you know. So if you're doing something, it's going to pull you away from something else. Like there's not multiple things moving at one time as far as like employees supporting you, right? So that's one thing I would say is not that I didn't expect that it just kind of like caught me off guard as far as like okay, that means I have to prioritize my time differently if I want to be like the marketing person and the coach and the person who's building a website and the person who's, you know, developing like material for clients to work through like workbooks and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's been the biggest thing for me is the prioritizing of time, um, where to spend it, and the fact that it's a lot more valuable now, my time. So
mm.
yeah.
Nice. So what do you really enjoy about being self-employed?
Well, I enjoy the fact that I can work from anywhere, really, anywhere that I please, and that suits me, and suits my clients as well. So there's a little bit of that as far as you know, if I've got the day planned that I'm just going to be, you know, maybe editing content or things like that, then I could go work in a cafe, or I could go sit on the train even and work and just sit on the train and have it go all the way one way and all the way to one way. And so
Have you done
um,
that? Have you actually done that?
I have done it. I didn't go the whole way, which I was like disappointed in myself because I've been wanting to do it for so long. But I did
Oh,
it. I did it like 8 stops and then got off and walked across the platform and got on the train and went back. But I was like, but I want to do it to all the way to one side to the other because it basically takes you all the way through Tokyo, the train line that's closest. So I could go from rural Tokyo to like in the middle of Tokyo. So someday I will do the full version. But yeah, I've done like a half-ish way, a third of the way.
Nice. Okay. That sounds like a, because you see a lot of people posting like today's office,
Yeah.
like I'm
Yeah.
working on the beach, or like I have this view, or we were literally just 2 days ago, we were like visiting a co-working space and maybe setting up some collaborations with my creator community here locally, in a town that's like just nearby, and they have a co-working space in the rice fields. So you
That's
have a
cool.
work desk and all you see is like rice fields, and
Oh, that's so cool.
it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, right? So like people are there like, oh, my office today.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So your office is the train in Japan. This is like a cool office, bro.
I know it's kind of fun. I mean, looking out the window, it never gets boring, right? So
Right.
it was fun. Yeah.
Now, as long as it's like, and I can imagine that it's probably comfortable to sit and work, at least to some
Yeah.
extent. Yeah.
They got the plugs there. And yeah, I mean, it's all good as long as you
Damn.
the, for most of the way someone wasn't even sitting next to me, so I just had my laptop on the and
Yeah.
just like an airplane,
How?
the thing in
Yeah.
front. And
How long? How long is the train ride? How long would the ride be?
if I took it the full way, it's like 100 like an hour and 50 minutes ish. So
Okay.
it's a long line. It's a long train line. So I can like work for at least half the day, go to one side, like eat lunch. This is my
Yeah.
ultimate plan. Go to one side, eat lunch, maybe like get out a little bit, and then get back on and like take it all the way back into Tokyo
That
for
sounds
the rest of the day.
amazing.
And come
That
visit,
sounds
we can do it together.
amazing. That sounds amazing. No, like yeah, I would. Phew, and you can also utilize that as like a focus um,
Yeah.
block, or like a focus, a help for focus, right? Like for the next 2 hours or whatever that I'm sitting here on the train, I'm getting into deep work into focus, and
It
then
actually
oh
helped,
okay.
I feel like. Yeah. I was yeah, I felt like very focused when I was in there too. I don't know if it was just because there were some other people working around me in different like seats, or just the fact that that everything's going by you in the train. And so but yeah, it was really nice. And it's quiet as a train is in Tokyo, like very quiet and just kind of relaxing, honestly. But yeah,
That's
if you come
amazing.
visit, we'll have to do it. Yeah.
Well, now that makes me look forward to when Vietnam is going to expand and evolve in the next decade or so. That hopefully they're
Yeah,
gonna build trains like that here, so then I can do that as well later on, maybe
for
here.
sure.
But yeah, I can come visit in Tokyo for sure. And yeah, I've been thinking about Japan obviously for quite some time. It'll take me a while before I get there. Actually, you never know. Like it might just happen that out of nowhere I'm like, oh, hey, I'm coming to Tokyo in 2 weeks.
I'm game, man. Let me know. We'll get a group of some other remote workers, or
Hmm.
people together here that make some connections while you're at it.
So yeah, how has it been with community for you over there? And of course you have your family and you have all this,
Hmm.
but have you found any like expat or immigrant or nomadic communities that you can
Yeah,
join and be a part of already?
yeah. There's a few that I've gone and like met people in, and um, yeah. There's quite a few opportunities, especially being in Tokyo, for things like that. So um, I've within the few like communities that I've gone to, I've met like a few key people in each one of them, and then we've kind of like been getting together regularly outside of that. So yeah, it's a great. Um, it really took me until probably the last like 2 months to start doing that, just from a like maybe a little bit of a fear thing, and then getting comfortable um, here and trying to reach out to people I don't know. So yeah, it took me a little bit to get around to that. But late, I've found that that helped tremendously because within the last 2 months, I've like got different friend groups now, um, or kind of even like co-working groups where we'll just get together at a cafe and work. We're all remote working, but we're all in the
Hmm.
same cafe, and so things like that definitely help with a sense of community. But getting out there, I didn't do it myself for the first like year and a half, so I can't recommend it enough. Getting out there for people, just try to make connections, just try to put yourself out there, and it's uncomfortable and vulnerable being in that space, right? But the sooner you do it, the sooner the rewards come because it's rewarding meeting people and getting to talk to people in your own language, like as you know, being an expat as well. So yeah, it's just it took me a little bit, but now I'm
Mm,
doing it. So
yeah. Okay, very nice. In terms of your business, how do you have like a specific program, or do you have something specific that you help people with, or how do you structure it?
yeah, so it's really tailored to fit the client. But right now I'm only offering one-on-one coaching services and wanting to really focus on um, individual and eventually maybe venturing out into the group activities or the group webinars. But right now my expertise is in the one-on-one coaching space, really helping people break away from the limiting beliefs, so knowing that working through the fear of you know taking the next step in the career, a lot of it is working with people that are like trying to discover their passion again in their work, or figure out if their passion is different than what they've been doing career
Mm,
wise. So um, those are the best cases I feel like for me right now. So rewarding, and I can speak a lot to that as far as if there is a space or a time for advice giving, or if it feels right, and um, it helps being in that kind of vertical. So
hmm.
um, yeah, one-on-one coaching services is what I'm offering right now for my clients.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah.
Where are you learning from, or how did you support with, like, how did you get education? How did you get knowledge?
Mhm.
Did you get all these for the transition as well, and then just going further into the business?
Yeah, so the coaching school, I was in a coaching school called IPEC. So did about a year long program. Got all my practice coaching hours, mentor coaching hours, things like that, and then the curriculum as well. So um, recently certified as a professional coach through IPEC in December, um, and then throughout, I feel like a lot of people say, like in their careers, like I coach my coworkers, things like that. But really, maybe they're more of like a mentor, or they're like consulting because they're giving their opinion. I would say in my work previously, in my previous career, as a consultant. So um, that knowledge, that communication skills, the listening skills really um, help in my coaching business as well.
Hmm.
So yeah.
With your coaching school, did you also have a lot of like the business side and the business education for coaching?
There were certain programs that you could, and they had some resources for that. But yeah, I would say really when it started to get into the actual logistics of the business side, that I had to kind of do my own research and find it in other places. So
Hmm.
um, the resources that the school has just aren't aren't necessarily right for everyone's
Yeah,
scenario, and so
it makes sense.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's, well, I guess three main parts to a coaching business, I would say, right? There's the coaching and the communication skill and the consulting and being able to ask the questions and hold space
Mm.
and all those, right? And then there's you, and you being able to take care of yourself, and you being able to actually do at least as to the best of your ability, do the things that you're coaching on and consulting on, and
Hmm.
have your own life in order and take care of
Right.
yourself first. And then the third one is the business, right? The business side, which is
Hmm.
the marketing, the sales, the client acquisition, the lead generation, the funnels or the courses or
Totally.
social media, like whatever, right? Sales.
Hmm.
Um, and what I've seen most people, most beginning coaches, or most beginning people in online businesses struggle with is the business side, right? And it's
Hmm. Yeah.
specifically in coaching, I've met many people who are like, yeah, I did this like 6 month or 12 month coaching certification, so I'm like certified as a coach, but I don't have any clients, or like it's so hard for
Hmm.
me to get clients. And even though I have this certification, it's just like it seems like nobody wants to work with me, and it's because the business side is tough, right?
Yeah.
And it is like an actual real business, and it's not easy to do it. It's not easy to run it. So
Yeah.
there's a lot that goes into, yeah, just like the business side of coaching that I
I
think a
agree.
lot of people don't realize when they're first getting into it, and they're like, yeah, I'm just gonna. I've had many people who be like, yeah, honestly, I thought that I'm just gonna get this certification, and then it's just like clients are gonna come, like I'm just gonna get clients, and
Yeah.
then nope, that's not how it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. It's a. I think I got a little lucky or kind of blessed in that way of having a sales career
Yeah.
before doing this, in the way of like in sales. In sales, typically people say like it's going to take 3 or 5 years, like 3 to 5 years to like establish a true sales career, because people are, first you're building awareness around you as a salesperson, right? So first you're probably going to be hunting instead of like farming the leads that are coming into you. So if you're
Hmm.
true outside sales, you're knocking on people's doors, you're like calling people, you're putting yourself out there in marketing material, right? And then it, what I think people might have the misconception is like it's going to be mostly farming. Like people are going to be calling me, they're going to find me on my website without building the awareness. And so like I had the kind of the rough truth of it like burned
Mm.
into me with sales, is like starting anything, and I feel like starting a business is a little bit like starting in sales. Like you have to build that awareness. It's to
Yeah.
like make people know that you're Brandon the coach, right? Like, and that that I'm in that stage and I understand that. And so like there was no like rose colored glasses for me going
Nice.
into this,
Okay.
as far as like like I it's gonna be awesome once I hit that certification bell and I put that out there, like people are just gonna be flooding in. I'm like, I didn't think that, and I still don't think that, and I realized that, really marketing myself for the last like 2 months, like steadily as I have been, is, yeah, it's the first stage of building the business, is building my awareness, and I'm in that, and it helped me not having that misconception of this is going to be a walk in the park and the certification is all I need. So I kind of had my dreams or hopes like tempered down a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. It's really great to have that sales. And I think like most of business, especially in the early stages, if you're just by yourself, like the money has to come from somewhere, right? And it's gonna come from
Right.
you doing the sales. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
having sales experience is very helpful. And yeah, that's another thing that I see people do a lot is like I'm starting a business and I'm working on my website, I'm working on my logo, I'm working on this, I'm working on that. I'm like, okay,
Hmm.
how many sales conversations have you had, or how many conversations have you tried to have, or have you tried to start?
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't sell it. I don't sell anything yet. Like, how then you're not really running your business.
I
This is
don't want to be too salesy, as I've heard like other peers say,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
I don't want to be too pushy or salesy. I'm like, you're never gonna get a yes or even a no if you don't ask the question. So it's
yeah.
like,
People are scared of the rejection and like being salesy and
uh,
people hating them and whatnot.
I get that too. There's a at least in America, it's like the used car salesman, like promising this, and then it's like this, right? So it's like there's such a conception of like being too pushy or being too salesy, and really it's just like eloquently asking for someone's business. Like it's you don't have to be promise the moon and you know
Yeah.
deliver a flashlight, but it's
in especially in coaching, it's a lot about walking people through the fear and holding the space for them to take action and invest into themselves and to finally change
totally
their situation, right? Because people are just worried, scared, they're afraid. And if you can see that it's the right thing and you can help them, then that's what it becomes. It's not like pushy and
yeah,
being like sleazy, but it's not like
right,
you're genuinely trying to help them improve their life. And
yeah,
it's one of the steps that you have to take them through. And that's
right,
all it is.
yeah. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, there's nothing like cringe or like tough about like really wanting to guide someone through a process if it's yeah, I think that fear definitely holds people back in the beginning. I can see it as other peers who've come out
Hmm.
of the school that have come together with, and the fear of like having that question asked is, will are
Yep.
you ready to do business? Like, I can send you the thing right now. I can send you the coaching agreement. Just simply asking for it is tough. So I
Yeah.
get it.
It gets much easier with time and with practice.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you've heard a million no's too, the yeses are much more sweet. So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
there's always the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. Nice. Amazing. So yeah, this has been a great conversation, and I'm excited for you and excited to see how you build your career and life in Japan as well. And yeah, and probably visit one day or
Yeah.
another.
Please
So
do. Please.
if somebody wants to learn more about you or they want to maybe they're thinking about their own transition in life, what can they do? Where can they go?
Yeah, I'd love to connect with you. Best place to connect with me right now is on Instagram. So transition coach underscore Brandon. So really simple there. Just transition coach underscore Brandon. Connect with me on Instagram, and from there you can even book a free discovery call, so we can have a free conversation and figure out if our energies are lined up to make it a partnership.
Amazing. Amazing. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna be checking out your content as well on Instagram and
Appreciate it.
see how you're doing over there. And would you have any closing remarks or closing statements?
No, I just again wanted to say I appreciate the opportunity connecting, and I'm glad we got to connect before this and chat and get to know each other as well. So hoping we can kind of stay in connection there on Instagram and kind of I spying each other's content, and yeah, look forward to you visiting in the future, or possibly me visiting Vietnam. So
Yeah, come
either
to
way,
come
I'd love to
on
connect.
vacation. There's a lot of people from China and Japan and Korea and Taiwan coming to Da Nang as the vacation place because it's a nice beach town. It's a nice beach city. We have a lot of great hotels and beach bars and yeah, it's great stuff.
That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, I'm looking for a nice beach to break out of this cold weather in Tokyo. So
Yeah,
I'm looking
it's
forward to it.
warm.
So
It's warm. Best season is coming up in the next few months.
love
Business conference is happening as well in 3 weeks. So
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah, I'll be following you on social media to see how that goes. I've been
yeah,
excited to
nice.
see that too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hope they're gonna. I think they're gonna have some sort of recordings. Yeah, I'm excited to speak at that, and we've become. There's something like that in Japan as well, like a Japan Japan Nomad Festival, like expat, like business festivals and things like that. I'm sure there are.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure as well. Yeah, I need to keep my eye on those, and yeah, please, if you do come to Tokyo, look me up.
Yeah, I will let you know. All right, and that's it
Awesome.
for the live.